Hey everybody, it is Tuesday and it's 2 o'clock, so that means it's time for Top 5 Tuesday. I am your host from Crate Insider. I'm Kate Dillon, and I always love coming in for Top 5 Tuesday. It's a lot of fun, and we've got lots of cool things to look at today. Even brought in a couple of new things to you guys to talk about. I'm gonna get Alex to do something for me. Will you look at my photos really quick for the number 4? So anyway, so, you try to prepare before the show and things happen. But of course, we'd love to talk about the things that we're giving away. I'll be doing that in just a moment. And then to enter one of our giveaways, all you need to do is drop in a comment. And if you happen to know what my sign said last week, I'm going to scoot this actually a little bit so you can see it a little bit better this week. But and I will be talking about this. It'll make sense in just a moment here. But if you know what my sign said, we'll do a separate giveaway for that as well. So I want to kick it off. And I do want to talk about what we're giving away. And the first item is from our friends at Hooker Harness. So I love Hooker Harness and love their seatbelts. And I love this. It says right here in the back, it says the best $500 I ever spent. That is super cool. And it's, obviously safety. In fact, I didn't even plan this, but we're going to be talking a little bit about safety on the show today. And obviously seatbelts are really imperative to have your right seatbelts. And we're getting into that time of year. In fact, I've got a set of belts right here. And we're getting to that time of year when, maybe it's time, depending on where you're at in the country, that the big races are kind of happening or you're kind of wrapping up for the season. In fact, I was just at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway over the weekend, and the tech there, they actually found at least one guy that needed his seat belts were out of date. So they had to have him replace his seat belts in order to allow him to race. And I think it's really good when tech, comes in and they do actually inspect and look at that. So I would encourage you, and you'll probably hear from me several times over the winter here, but this is the model tag here, but somewhere on here, there we go, we can find the SFI tag. So on your belts, find your SFI tag, and if you find that your belts are out of date, then now is getting into winter here, and especially this beginning part of winter. Yes, I know it's October, but this October-November season is about the best time of year. You wait until the end of December or into January, and all the new sales really start picking up. So if you want to get your belts serviced, a lot of these companies, I know Hooker is one, where if you've got Hooker belts, they could re-web your seat belts. That way you can use that same hardware, save you a little bit of money. Talk to them actually, directly to find out what they say about that. But what I really love about the Hooker harness system is that they really belt you in, and they not only have the belts, but it also comes with a ratchet, and so once you're in your belts, that you can then ratchet them down to get them as tight as possible. And it makes a huge difference, so you're not sliding around your car when you're going around the track. You're nice and safe and secure in your seat belts, and then they're keeping you safe in the event of anything catastrophic happening. But definitely check those, check your webbing there, and make sure that your belts are in date, because that's the last thing you want to do is be at a race, be at a track, and it gets to the springtime, maybe you've just built your car, you're all excited, you're ready to go, and then you find out your belts are out of date, and then you may not be able to race. Besides the fact, there's a reason why there are dates on seatbelts, and it's not just in order just to get you buy more seatbelts. I mean, there's a reason there to keep you the safest possible on that. So definitely, I love our Hooker harnesses. And they run, start around $400, and then you kind of go up depending on what you want to do for the different options on that. But Hooker harness seatbelts, love them, and highly recommend them for sure. So yes, if you want to win our Hooker harness t-shirt, then just drop in a comment, and at the end we'll be doing a random number, just random numbers is how we figure out who wins our prizes. All right, next up, another thing I want to feature today, we always do a second giveaway, and this week I want to feature Joe's Racing Products. I've got this great hat from Joe's Racing Products, and to win this, you just drop in a comment with what my sign said last week. And because I'm talking about Joe's, I want to talk about one of their products that I really, really love. And this is their GoPro mount. I mean, they sell a couple of different kinds. This happens to be the one, if you've got a chassis that has 1.5" tubing, then this would be the one I would probably go for. There's another version of this where it's got like a hose clamp on it, and that way it's adjustable for, really any circumference of bars that you would be using. But I really like this one. This is the 1.5", and it's a GoPro mount. I really just, gosh, I can't encourage you guys enough to buy a GoPro. You can buy them pretty reasonably these days and record your races, because the legacy later on, years down the road, even if you're 18 or 19 years old and you're watching this and you're like, I am not thinking about my legacy, I just want to win races. Well, there's two things that I would, or three reasons I would recommend this. And number one, you can investigate your own performance, because now you're not in it. You don't have to worry about any of the things that you have to worry about as a racer. You can watch it after the fact and learn a lot about maybe what you would do differently or how you could get better, so you can improve your own performance. Secondly, is when you're putting videos out into the world, if you decide to post these, then it's something that sponsors absolutely love and people love to watch them. So it really is a great way of interacting with your fans and giving them more of the experience that I really cannot highly recommend that enough. And then third, someday down the road, you want to leave a legacy, and whether you have kids or grandkids at some point that would love to watch your races, because I'm still looking for more races with my dad. And GoPros didn't exist back then, but I'm still looking for those races that I could find and be able to put up onto my Racing Rewind channel. Those older races are just so much fun. But GoPro mounts from Joe's, and this runs $146.95. I think it's one of those things you're just gonna buy it once. So it is very solidly made. I've used these on a lot of different cars, and they're just so solid. Gets that CNC machined. Just a really solid piece. Highly, highly recommend it. You'll go through more GoPros and cases than you ever will with the actual mount. So yeah, it's definitely an investment type of a product, but you're going to have it for a really long time. So there's that. Now I have two more announcements I want to tell you guys about before we jump into our top 5 this week. And one of these, in case you've missed it, well, we all know that PRI canceled for the year, the PRI Racing Trade Show, and as a result, my brother and I, my brother is the owner of Dirt Wrap. Of course, I'm the CEO here, but we work together and we are putting together a racing trade show in Hickory, North Carolina on December 11th and 12th. And for right now, we're offering free registration. So if you want to sign up to attend, it is free to register, and we will drop in a link, or later on I'll have this video on YouTube and there'll be a link in the description so that you can click on over, get yourself registered. The response has been amazing, you guys, and we have some great companies that are joining us. Hooker Harness is one of them. I talked to those guys over the weekend. Hooker Harness will be there, and I mentioned that because it's a great chance to try out a seatbelt and see how that's going to work for you. And you can do it right there, and you'll be able to buy things right there at the show. We're really excited about that. Obviously, Crate Insider is going to be there. Dirt Wrap is going to be there. But we also have a lot of other heavy hitters as well. So Winner's Performance, for instance, I'm really looking forward to them coming down. SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel from the Carolinas here. They've signed on to be there. Bilstein is a huge part of it. So there's also, we're going to be announcing some seminars coming up. Right now, we've just finished the website, or it's not, a website's never done. Let's just be real about that. I'm also excited about Jones Racing Products. I was talking with them today. Willie's Carbs. Willie's always coming out with something new. So if you want to see the most cutting edge technology available, it's going to be at the Cars Racing Show. And it's called Cars, by the way, because originally the show was Carolina Auto Racing Show. We've kind of just stripped that out and just made it Cars, because otherwise it'd be Carolina Auto Racing Show, which would be weird, and we don't like weird. So CarsRacingShow.com, get signed up and join us at that show. Now, next up, so anybody who doesn't know, I absolutely love marketing. I love social media, or at least I love the power of those. And apparently we've got a guest here. This would be Pippi. Sorry guys, but Pippi wants to join in. This is Pippi. Pippi has decided to join the show today. But Anyway, social media, if you want to get sponsors and you want to learn how to do marketing, that is something that I've gotten into and taught racers, and I've just heard great things or made great strides with that. But I've also, during that time, connected with drag racer Meyer. She's an NHRA drag racer. This is her last season. She's a trained graphic artist, and she has a giant platform over on Instagram where she has built up this giant platform. I'm better at Facebook, I'm good at websites, I'm good at videos, and Megan really brings that Instagram piece in, and besides all of the social, but with a heavy dose of Instagram, and there's a lot of opportunity there today. So Megan has just released a program, and her program is called Driven by Social. You can see it right back here, but we're gonna drop in a link, and as a special benefit, because she and I, that's her program, but I wanted to make it, add my little special spin on that. And so if you buy her marketing program, which is Driven by Social, then you will also get my sponsorship proposals how-to guide as part of that. And it's all built in. She's got all of that loaded up on the platform right there on her one website. And so we're combining efforts to get that word out. And it's really good. I've been through her program before, and we both learn from each other. And if you're looking for, hey, it's going into the off season, it's time to learn how to do this promotion stuff, I want some sponsors from next year, this is a really good way to go. And I know her students have had success just like mine have, and I'm just going to highly recommend it. You can do her basic program, or the program for $197, or you can do an upgrade where you've got a VIP solution in there too. So I will be supporting that and letting people know about it. So that's all right. So that is about all of our cool stuff before we get into the top 5. And so I'm going to say hi to a couple of folks here. I see Lily, she won last week, is here, and Cody and Scott from California. He's welcome back. How was the trip? I survived coming back on a 7 hours there, 7.5 hours back trip with Steve Hendren driving, and he doesn't like driving. He doesn't like road trips. He's not a road trip guy, but it gets us from point A to point B. It was fun. All right, I see David's here, and Tommy, and Andrew, and Tim. So many of you guys are here today. Lots of familiar faces. Tyler says, can't wait for the car show. Tyler, I think your mom was the first one to sign up, and signed up your whole family. Tyler is one of my students in Winning Motorsports Marketing, and has definitely seen some, you can ask Tyler and how his results have been as he's kept on building his promotional programs for sure. See, Carl's here, and Johnny, so many of you guys here. Oh my gosh, there's so many people here. Josh is here. Josh, it brings out Hooker Harnesses key phrase, which is hookers save lives. Josh, he was also going to be at the show with Elite Motorsports, and he's going to have a booth there with Stop Tech and Gorsuch Performance. Really looking forward to what he's going to be bringing to the show, and love working with him. Got to see him over the weekend for sure. Okay. Great. Oh, and Terry says he loves my enthusiasm towards racing. Awesome. So let's go ahead and jump into the top 5. And this is something I've not shown on Top 5 Tuesday before. We have sold a lot of these, and I don't know, just haven't seen that on Top 5 Tuesday before. I think it's because I didn't have them in stock, but now I do. And that is going to be our Winters hub, our hub assembly. This one happens to be a front. A lot of people order this with the angular contact bearings, which is these little ball bearings here that you can see, and that they're rotating around. It makes it really, really smooth. Just a beautiful piece. So there's one version for the front and then the other for the rear, but this is the Winters K4045, and then this is with the option with the angular contact bearings. And let me ask Alex, did you put the prices in here with the angular contact bearings? We don't know.
No.
Okay, we're not sure. So anyway, they're on the website. We'll drop in a link, and we can just drop in a link for all of the Winters Pro Performance products, if you would, Alex, and then you can see that we have these with just regular standard bearings, or you can get them with the angular contact bearings if you want to have like that ball bearing kind of a deal there. I just think it's really cool. They're so smooth, and they're really light, very, very lightweight. These are the 007 hubs, and just a very popular product, and that's in the number 5 spot. Next up in the number 4 spot, I had Alex bring up, because clearly Alex is here in the office. He's always helping me out. And in the number 4 spot is my Burromax pit bike. And of course I ruined it because he had it up for me. He had the picture up for me. I guess I could drag my bike up here at some point, but anyway, Burromax pit bike. I lost the photo, but Burromax pit bike. I love my little pit bike. I drive the 350 with the carbon fiber. We have a 350 or we have a 750. The 750 has a little more torque, but I think for the longer haul, the 350 has a lot more. And I like it with the upgrade motor to help me get up hills a little bit faster. So I really prefer the 350 over the 750, but if you want just that little more power right out of the gate, is the 750 is the way to go. So now I have the 350 as the carbon fiber. Well, it's not really, it's plastic that looks like carbon fiber. Or I have the other version where it's red lightning is what we call it. So it's got black background with red lightning on it. And then we have the 750s. I have them all in stock. I just got a pallet of them like I guess a week and a half ago, and they're going to be a great Christmas gift. They're not going to be easy to get. So I would say definitely shop early if that's something you want to go with. So love my Burromax pit bike, and they run for the 350 runs $549.95, or the 750 runs $699.95. So really economical for sure. All right, next up, that brings us to the number 3 spot this week, and then the number 3 spot is our fire bottle. So I always love selling these because, you know, safety is so imperative. And this happens to be my favorite system. This is the AMRC 1002, and this gives us 2 of these automatic lines. I haven't talked about fire bottles in a while. And here, let me just show you what it means to have an automatic line. So the automatic line here, I'm going to take off this sleeve, and you should be able to see this in the camera there, but that inside of there is this little glass tube, and when this hits a certain temperature, which I usually know, I think it's 170 degrees, it'll automatically break and set off the system. So that's what you want to have, you know, made close to the driver's compartment, like the cockpit. Also the other side, you want to put that by the fuel cell, so that if your fuel were to start on fire, that the system would automatically be set off. And then this system can also be set up with a manual, so it's both manual and it's automatic, and that way you can have control over that too. So it'll go off on its own if you find yourself in a fiery situation, and then secondly, you also have control over it. You don't have to wait for it. If you see a fire, you could just pull a cord. And this system here, the AMRC 1002, runs $794.32, and that's the most popular. That's a 10-pound system. I sell 5-pound systems, 10-pound systems, automatic, manual, but this is the Mac Daddy of them, and this is the one I sell the most of, and that's that fire bottle AMRC 1002. All right, next up, in the number 2 spot this week is from our friends at Baker Engineering and ProCam, and that is our PRC 9350. This is our 15 PSI fuel pump, and it's really the go-to pump. I mean, I have the 15 PSI and I have the 7.5 PSI, depending on whether you're running a bypass regulator system or if you're just running a deadhead regulator. That's how you're going to determine which of those 2 systems you run, or which two between the 2 fuel pumps. But this 9350 is the 15 PSI. Run it with your bypass regulator. You need that little bit of extra pressure to make sure you've got enough pressure going through the whole system. So the PRC 9350, and it runs $187.77. All right, so we're getting to the top spot right now. I just got another shipment of these too. So these are, I'm really glad to see, you know, when you kind of go out on a limb and make things happen, to see that they become popular. And that's going to be our it's our flat air filter base, but it's a black powder coated edition. And I could not have anticipated how much I would have loved these, because they're stronger. I mean, when you put the powder coat on there, they're about the same weight. They're probably, you know, I don't know, little milliounces heavier or something. But as far as the strength, they're so much stronger than the regular mill finish. They stay looking neat, you know, with that mill finish of aluminum. I mean, I like it for what it is, but it's going to show fingerprint marks, and you're going to get some discoloration. It's aluminum, like it is what it is. But with this black powder coat, it really changes the game, and it's easier to keep it clean. You can see it very easily, and it's also so much stronger. So I really do love this. And this one runs $109.50. So that's our top spot. So I'm gonna have Alex pick us a couple of winners here. I'm gonna see if you guys have any questions. Any questions that you have, feel free to drop them in, and I'm happy to answer. Let's see, Bob says, what is the reason you stopped carrying the Kaiser non-beadlock wheels without the mud plug tabs? Because I didn't sell them very well, that's why. And if I'm stocking wheels, because before I wasn't stocking them, I was just drop shipping them. And so with those, I mean, if it's something you want to order, I can get them. I can certainly get them. It's just not something I have sitting on my shelf, because the beadlocks and the inner beadlocks and the pro rings, you know, with the mud plug, the tabs, those are so much more popular than just the regular standard wheels. So that's why, you know, if I'm gonna have, I only have so much room for so many wheels, otherwise the guys at the shop will kill me. They're already about to kill me about something else, so. There we go. Let's see what other questions you guys have here. Oh, Mikey says he's booking his rooms today. Oh, I see Heidi's here. LSM is here to represent. Awesome. I just got a shipment in of LSM products. I think I have most of that sold, and I got another big shipment coming in really soon here that I'm excited about. Love my LSM products. Do I have? Yeah, check it out. This is my wrench that I keep in my office. This is the AN wrench, by the way, you guys, from LSM. You can see it's I love this wrench, and it has this very precise screw link on it, and what I love is that there's just no play in here at all. Like once it's set, and you don't have it weaseling all around like you do with a regular crescent wrench. So this is actually the AN pit wrench. It's meant for AN fittings. That can be used for like your Zeus fasteners, and this can just slide over in your pocket, and you've got little grips. So love that, love it. So yeah, I mean, you didn't even know this, that I have this stuff in my office, but I do. All right, so I got a couple of winners here today. So first of all, for the hooker harness t-shirt, and by the way, this happens to be a large, and the winner is Larry Chilcutt. So Larry, if you would, please send a private message to Crate Insider with your address, and I will send that out to you. And then secondly, for the person who knew my sign for the Joe's hat right here is gonna be Andrew Koenig. So Andrew, if you would, please send Crate Insider a private message, and we'll get these items sent out to you. I want to thank all of you for being here. Thank you for being part of the show. And if you have any questions for me, you know, feel free to drop them into the comments or send a message, especially coming up with all the other things we've got going on with the Cars Racing Show, or any questions on the Driven by Social program with Meyer. Go ahead and ask me, and I'm happy to answer those. In the meantime, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of the show, and I will look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Have a great week.